So we're back, day 3, our final session with HTC, and should we say you guys kept the best for the last?
100%. 100%.
And today we are speaking about virtual reality and location-based entertainment. I think this is one of the most amazing and exciting part of virtual reality, and it really engages the audiences directly. And what I love about these setups is that they're always really out of this world. Really, it's amazing.
I totally agree to that, and I couldn't say anything more. But then, point is, it becomes super immersive versus, let's say, playing at home. So it gives you a different experience altogether. And the second part is the socializing part of it when you go to, let's say, LBs where you have VR. So I totally agree.
And we have also 2 guests with us. Joining us on the Zoom call, we have Mr. Hussein Shaban, who is FEC manager of XtraLife in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Mr. Plutarch Lee, who is AVP VR Enterprises Solutions for HTC, joining us from Taiwan. And we really thank Mr. Plutarch to take the time to be with us today and really share his experience as well in location-based entertainment. And I mean, we've had some crazy sessions with you guys in the past 2 days. We were live as avatars. We were also discussing the remote the remote workplace, so many things, and now we're into location-based entertainment. So let's not delay it more. Daniel, maybe you would like to us to start the conversation.
Yes, thank you, Habib. I mean, we're very excited today. I mean, me as a child, I grew up where there was internet cafes, there was Ataris. This was the limitation that we had at some point. But today, if you see fast forward 20 years, we are seeing evolution of the gaming industry that's taking you a totally different environment. And today, this gaming cafe is becoming an arcade, it's coming in location-based entertainment, and it's growing so fast that we are offering to this new generation a totally new experience. We're very excited also that with HTC Vive and Viveland, we've taken this concept, and for the first time in the Middle East, we have an example in Saudi Arabia with XtraLife, where people can really replicate this global model and can enjoy this experience. I hope it's not going to be the last one. I'm sure there is a lot in the pipeline through our partners. And I'm glad to have our lead pioneer, Mr. Plutarch from Taiwan, to talk to us about this great experience, how we capitalize on it on a global level with HTC and Viveland, and with Mr. Hussein, how he has taken this initiative with all his passion and his team's passion and replicated it in the Middle East. And we want to show you how you can take it through other partners, and why not other people can take this example and initiate it in this part of the world.
For sure. So I guess now we can hear Mr. Plutarch. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, good.
So, Mr. Plutarch, as Daniel said, you will be explaining to us everything about Viveland, and it's all yours now.
Yeah, I will introduce the 2 locations from HTC Viveland in Taiwan.
So, Habib, I will just first take you through with some brief concepts about the LB part. Let's dive into details, and then obviously Plutarch can give us example on the actual Vivelands which he is operating, and then Hussein can come in and talk about what he is doing in Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
So just to say, and thank you for giving us this platform to communicate. So in terms of LBE per se, I guess the acronym people are still not aware of. It's called location-based entertainment. The main difference between LBE versus normal gaming center is where we are talking of creating a virtual environment to give you the immersive experience which you can't do it, let's say, physically sitting at home playing in PC. So just to give you an example, let's think of you playing Counter-Strike at home in PC versus going to, let's say, VR Park in Dubai Mall, where they have created an entire space with a battlefield with some grenades, guns, and you're playing with your friends. That's the main differentiation factor which LBE can bring into the picture of the whole gaming space versus when you're doing it socially, I would say individually at home. So that's briefly the concept of LBE. Just to give you names of the biggest LBEs around in the globe, we are talking of likes of Hologate, we are talking of zero latency. But when it comes to HTC Viveland per se, the biggest USP what we have is end-to-end solution. So right from the stage of designing the concept layout till the time your LBE is launched, we are working with partners hand in hand, taking it to the next level. So that's where our differentiation or USP comes into the picture versus competition brands. When it comes to VR in LBE, and as you have realized after trying Vive Sync, how cool it is to be inside VR, how immersive and how real it is versus, let's say, sitting in front of a 2D screen and playing. So definitely VR is the next level of gaming. Obviously, in order to come to mainstream, it will take some time, but LBE currently is a medium through which we are trying to expand the gaming and entertainment industry and tap the customers to enter into the VR space. So that's basically the brief of the concept. Now what I'd like to talk about is mainly the trends in LBE. What are the games people like to play? So when it comes to LBE, there are few contents which are being very popular now. One is free roam. So the concept of free roam is where you're not tangled with any wires, you're using wireless headset, let's say, or a backpack PC with a tethered headset, and you roam around within the area free from any, let's say, block.
That's amazing.
So that's pretty cool, because think of a situation like a hypothetical situation in a 5x5 space or a 10x10 space. You have 8 players playing against each other and they're moving around. At the same time, VR also lets you make sure that you don't go and hit each other, because obviously
I was going to say that.
Yeah, so we have taken that into consideration. So as of now, the main contents in LBE is free roam, and the second is escape room. I'm sure people must have played escape room in real scenarios, but VR is the next level concept, because here you don't have to create a room with the interior as such, because you can just have an empty room, put VR, and you're in a different place. So we have titles from Ubisoft like Medusa's Gate and some other titles which are pretty cool. And these are the current trends which LBEs are kind of catching up in the market.
Of course.
I just wanted to give you some example of how LBE is also helping in esports. Now, this is one key place where people are interested in playing games for a longer time, because there is some target or there is some plan to go where you're talking of either ranking on a leaderboard scale or socially competing on an online platform, global platform, where obviously they host challenges. I'm sure you must have heard of PUBG tournaments, Fortnite tournaments. Same thing in VR, we do esports events, and we have few titles which are specifically for esports. And these are getting really popular when it comes to your VR in esports. Business opportunity wise, let's say if you were to start an LBE, why would you do that? So my suggestion or my idea behind this is obviously it's the new level of gaming. So at the end of the day, if you want to adopt something early, this is the time, because this is going to come anyways. We are adopting things from West. In West, we have seen so many LBEs which has come up, and this is becoming very popular. So eventually it will come. Second, it's a very good socializing place too. In terms of a crowd pooler. So obviously when you have an LBE, apart from your game as such, you will have your F&B part and you have other entertainment parts. So definitely it adds to the overall business model as such. And then hosting esports tournaments. So working with, let's say, esports community locally here and hosting tournaments. So these all leads to several business reasons why someone has to or should be interested in opening an LBE. So these are like from a business opportunity perspective. And then we have, I just wanted to introduce the Viveland concept and what exactly we do for LBEs. So as I told you, we do right from end-to-end solutions, starting from scratch, design, layout, till the time we launch. Apart from that, we also help using the LBE location in doing a lot of educational contents, which is called edutainment per se. So like school trips, you bring students and give them some educational content. Plus, we do some enterprise training if required using that space. So that space can be used for multiple purposes. And that's where the Viveland concept comes into the picture, where we are talking of a total solution, not only from a gaming perspective, edutainment, as well as training. These are the ways how Viveland supports. Obviously, as I said, what we provide is from a content management, hardware management, software management, training, end-to-end. So I will not get into details, but as I said, it's like end-to-end, so you can rely to us for anything and everything. In terms of content, we also hold IPs of various contents, and we have contents categorized in different sectors. So let's say for family entertainment, we have some contents. We have some content for hardcore gamers. We have some for children. We have some for elderly people. So we have segregated our entire content portfolio in different segments. So you as a LB or anyone who wants to open LB can pick and choose what they want. And based on that, we can customize the space and let's say do the interior designing according to the games and contents you choose. So that's how we work on from a content perspective. Recommended space, we have some recommended spaces which is required for multiplayer games, starting from 5x5 meter space to 10x10 meter, depends on number of people who wants to participate or join in the game. Just to give you some example, I will just quickly show you some trailer of a couple of our content, which are AAA content and being widely used. And we are using this content in all our LBs in Taiwan as well as in Saudi Arabia. And I hope we will replicate the same in our region too, in UAE specifically. So I'll just give you a glimpse of the content video for your understanding.
Covering fire! Fire!
So this is basically a glimpse of a multiplayer content, and the next video is a glimpse of free roam, which I started off the conversation
That's really
with.
intense what we just saw now.
It is, and think of a situation where you have this kind of an environment created,
Yeah.
and then you play. That's pretty cool. So this next content is all about free roam, where you basically can move around without any wires dangling. And this is something which is also a trend in LBE currently, and this is the content.
Oh, that's amazing. Really.
That's actually quite
What a
cool
better
when you
way
play.
to be inside the video game.
100%. So now we would like to basically ask Plutarch to talk on the Taipei Viveland, which he has started and he has been managing. And yeah, he will take us through on this slide.
Perfect.
So yes, we have two permanent Viveland store in Taiwan, in Taipei City and Kaohsiung City. So the first Viveland arcade in Taipei was built in 2016. So in this side, we have 28 HMD, and also the space is about 330 square meters. And totally right now around like 30 experience. And we can offer about 50 people in the same space at the same time. And here is some numbers in the operation. Before the COVID-19, the utilization rate of the machine, of the equipment is around like 30%. So based on the financial estimation, so we almost like get balance around like 20%. So once the utilization rate more than 20%, we get profit. Yeah, so that's something we can share to everyone. And here's another number is about the repeated customer. So right now it's around like averagely is around like 15 to 25%, depending on the different seasons. Yeah, so yeah, the repeated customer is kind of our focus to do the marketing to have more event or more membership system to invite the customer to come back to experience the new content. Because, yeah, that is the major marketing event we are doing. And for next slide is for the Kaohsiung Viveland. So this site is a bigger one. So the total space is around like 825 square meter with around 60 HMDs. So it's allowing like 150 person in the same space. So because the space is big, so actually we held two eSport event in 2019. So you can see the image. We have two big space for eSport. The space is around like 10 by 10. So we have two such kind of space. Yeah. And we treat this Taipei and Kaohsiung Viveland as a demo site. So once we have any new content or new idea or new design, we will try to adapt to this new location. So based on the idea, so all the content from Viveland we verified in this two area, and also we collect the user feedback and try to understand the user's taste. To define ourselves, we define ourselves as a VR LB total solution provider. So all the content, all the operation, we needed to verify in these two places. So we create the SOP after we try the content and understand the user behavior. So we correct and create a lot of material. So once we have the business engaged with other customer, we do provide such kind of SOP and also training material to our customer. So this page is a video to show the Taipei and Kaohsiung Viveland. So you can see from this video, we have several categories of content. Car racing game, and also we have a space for the sport. We call the sport arena. We have 7 VR sport in this area. Content is baseball, badminton, race, and also tennis, archery. Yeah, and
You don't need that, right? You don't need him to speak. It's okay, we'll just put the video. Yeah.
Yeah, so next is the location, Kaohsiung Viveland. And all this area, this space, larger space, so we have more content, more than 50 content. And in this page, you can see that is the pop-up store for our new in-house content module, so-called Dinosaur SR. So in this content, we have the integration with the AR and the VR technology, and also with the simulation chair, fan, and the heater, and also the high-quality content about the dinosaur. So in this experience, you will truly feel the breeze from the jungle and ocean, and also the heat from the lava. So it brings you into the real and the immersive drug world. So it's kind of we do in-house work to create content with simulation chair and the fan and the heater. So next page, you can see that is a spaceship. So this is a video. You can feel the content. Site in Taiwan, Kaohsiung and Taipei, and this pop-up store. We also built the Viveland with partners at Hong Kong in 2019, and also worked with HTC to build up one site in KSA. And later on, I think Husen will introduce more information about this site.
Thank you, Plutarch. Very insightful, and hopefully this model can be replicated elsewhere as well. Now I have with me Mr. Hussein from Extra Saudi Arabia, and he will be taking us through his experience, how they were able to bring a similar concept to this part of the world.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hello.
Good to be here. Okay, it's a pleasure to be here and really be given this opportunity to talk about XtraLife, the newest concept in tech-based entertainment today, which I also humbly consider to be the top location-based entertainment in the Middle East today. So, first to begin with, I have to explain what is Extra and what is XtraLife. So, Extra is the group. And if you live in the region or if you work in retail, you probably know or heard about Extra stores. So right now, Extra is the largest omni-channel electronics retailer in the region. And in Extra, we are in continuous search for new venues and great opportunities such as this one. And it was obvious for us that the entertainment industry is being revolutionized in the Middle East, and especially in Saudi now. So it was a great time to enter the market. So we have Extra, the group, and we have XtraLife. And I hope I'm not going to confuse you for the rest of the presentation. So briefly about the group, we have Extra, the electronics retailer, about 44 stores in Saudi Arabia, more stores in Oman and in Bahrain. And we have the service company, and we have Taqseed company, service company, which is an after-sales and installation company. Taqseed is a finance and microloans company. And finally, XtraLife. And XtraLife is the latest project by Extra Group. So talking about XtraLife, the tech-based entertainment, and especially the VR entertainment industry, is a new industry and an untapped market. And it's only going to progress from now on. It will only advance. So it's a good time to enter this business. Back when we began working on XtraLife, Saudi was the second biggest spending country on e-games in the Middle East, preceded by Turkey. Now Saudi is the biggest one in Middle East. So Saudi gamer is the most spending gamer in the Middle East right now. And looking at the population, 60% of the population is youth under 30 years old, with approximately 5 million active gamers who spends on average triple on what other gamers spend. So as said, the opportunity was so obvious for us. And the first thing we had to do was look for the right partner. And of course, we reached out for HTC's Viveland. So how can we create the hotspot? How can you create a hotspot? How can you attract youth? So it's basically combining three main key components to achieve the four pillars of a paramount hotspot. Combining gaming and entertainment with dining and social to achieve an iconic LBE, an addictive destination that offers a great experience which is suitable for everyone, gamers and non-gamers. The concept, as said, had to be an iconic concept. It has to be something that was never done before. And people had to feel different when they enter. They need to see different, hear different, and even smell different. So it had to be very unique. Let's watch a short video about XtraLife so you understand the concept a little bit more. Okay, thanks for watching. So, as you can see, these are a couple of pictures from XtraLife, from inside XtraLife, and these pictures were taken during a weekend. So we've succeeded in attracting the targeted segment we wanted. So going through the journey and designing the concept, there are keys of success that cannot be missed. If you miss one of them, you're bound for failure. So the most important one is selecting the right partners. We had many partners on this project, and it makes a lot of difference how a good or a bad partner can affect your progress. The second one is designing the correct customer journey, what the customer sees and hears. This includes everything: branding, pricing, and like what we said before, how to spark the senses of your customers and let them live their fantasy, which is our slogan. The third one is content selection. So all what we said before are keys to every or any LBE success. But in a gaming or a VR entertainment-based LBE, you cannot miss on content selection, because having the wrong games or the wrong titles, and I'm not saying bad games, I'm saying the wrong games, or a mismatching game to your audience will brand you boring, or will brand you, which will stick to you, and it will make problems for you. So the fourth one is merging the social components of what people look out in each culture. And this changes from one market to another. Store classifications, it's one of the great things about this concept is its flexibility. So you can actually offer a wide or a good variety of stores and shapes. The first one, the flagship store, is the bigger one for dense cities, more simulators, bigger areas, more customers, higher capacity. The second one is what we have now in our first store, a versatile medium-sized store for medium-sized cities, less dense cities. And the last one is the movable store, designed to be moved around with activations, carnivals, and such.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hussein.
Thank you for having me.
Very valuable input, and we really look forward to seeing more similar concepts around the region. I've got a few questions to both of you, if you don't mind. For the sake of time, please, can we limit every question to maximum 2-minute answer, so we can address everyone sitting at home or remotely accessing the event. So, Mr. Plutak, I would like to first ask you a little bit about what is the current trend for LBEs from a content perspective. We've seen free roam and escape room contents, but how do you see these evolving in the location-based entertainment industry?
Yeah, I think for the location-based content, we want to address, we need more social effect, and also we needed to some attraction to attract repeat customer. So I would say free roaming and escape room content are two major trends we foresee will become more popular for VR content in LBE. So I want to address for the escape room. Actually, for the traditional escape room, it's already very popular, especially in Asia and also North American. And this content already proved is very attractive and very good for social. So I think for the VR escape room, there has some strengths compared to the traditional one, because the traditional one usually need a bigger space and also need a lot of investment for the decoration, and they needed to renew the content. They needed to redecoration again. So, but for VR, usually they need a smaller space, usually like 5x5 square meter. Then that's good enough, and lower investment, because the VR escape room usually you can in the same location you can replace the content regularly, but you can leverage the same hardware, the same equipment. You don't need to do too much decoration. So it saves a lot of cost. So you can have a lower fixed investment. Also, in the VR escape room, usually you can have several content in the same location. So it means the player will come back to play the different content. For the traditional one, usually the owner will change the decoration, change the content, say yearly or 2 years. So, but for the VR escape room, you can have several content at the same time. So that is a strong reason to have the customer come back again and again to try the different content, and they will also expect when is the next content will release. So that is a very strong point.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The escape room content, yes.
I'll move on to Mr. Hussein for questions that a lot of people asked when we start supporting on this project. Is that we know Xtra is being a significant electronics retailer and home appliances in the region. You're famous with your mega sale festival every year. I mean, what got you to think about something like this out of the box, totally different? And you're doing it very well.
Thank you, Fayad, for the question. Actually, we have this exposure to the electronics market. So we can see what's trending now. We can see what's going on in the market. We can see the tendencies of people, what they like, where they're going. So in terms of retail, everything was pointing at this direction. And at the same time, the direction of the country was entertainment. So this is the entertainment in the way that we can do, technology-based. And the concept of the VR LBE, I think it's here to stay, because if you remember the rise of the arcade, the arcade disappeared for most part of the world because of the console. But then people started missing the social component in the gaming, the multiplayer, being on the same place, playing together. And this is very limited now. I'm not talking about online gaming, I'm talking about the actual social interaction. So this is here to stay. And I think that most LBEs will have to come up with other ways that people interact together in such ways.
Great, thank you very much for that. Very insightful. One last question for Mr. Plutak as we're running out of time. We've seen, Mr. Plutak, that most of the RBEs, they work from afternoon until late at night, where morning time has been, you are thinking with your partners about creative ways to bring audience. We understand that kids are at school, we understand that youth are at university, but we've seen some nice edu-entertainment initiatives to drag traffic to these LBEs. Can you tell us a little bit about those initiatives and what's next on that?
So you are asking about how to more utilize the LBE locations?
Yes.
Yeah, so actually we do have a lot of experience in this. And take the example, we have the Kaohsiung Viveland. So basically I initiate a program to install the educational content in the Kaohsiung Viveland. So including they have some content for K-12 and also some content for popular science and some content for arts. So I will invite the school come to visit and experience the content. And usually the school in Taiwan, especially for primary school and also the junior high school, they have several activity in every semester. So they are very happy to join such kind of experience. And we always utilize the morning time and the time because as I just mentioned, usually the utilization rate of the LB is like 30%, 40%. So we have a lot of time space to so such kind of arrangement. So based on the feedback from the school, it's very positive, and also it utilize the time of the location and the environment and the equipment for the arcade store.
Great.
Because we have like 60 HMD in the location, so it's very helpful for the finance and also for educational purpose.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. One last question for Mr. Hussein. We want to know from you, what are your plans for expansion? Where do you want to go next? And will you have a franchise model ready to be replicated in this part of the world?
Okay. For expansion, we have a rapid expansion plan that's been disrupted with the current situation in the world, as you can imagine. But as soon as things go back to normal or the new normal, we'll continue expanding. For now, we will expand to metro cities in Saudi Arabia, and we have plans to expand beyond that as well. We will disclose, of course, that afterwards, but not right now. And for the franchise model, we are working with HTC on a franchise model. We're just perfecting the operation side of it, because it's new and needs time. So we don't want to jeopardize any of our partners. And this is part of, like I said before, it's key, selecting the partners, and we don't want to put them in, we don't want them to test for us. So we will do the test, we will finalize everything, and we will support the franchise model.
Thank you very much for your time. I want to thank Nicholas for taking us through the location-based entertainment trends, activities, and current content. I want to thank Mr. Hussein from Saudi Arabia, from XtraLife, who's giving us this valuable experience and real-life experience, how they converted the LBEs into a great success story. I want to thank also Mr. Plutak Lee from Taiwan, who's leading our teams in enterprise solutions for location-based entertainment on VR. And finally, I want to thank ITP for this platform and for this valuable input, where we are now due to the current situation, we are still able to reach our audience and interact with them and make this experience available to everyone.
Of course. And it's really amazing. I mean, you guys are always on the edge of the next big thing and the next big experience. It's really amazing, and it's so captivating to look at it, and just by watching a video. So just imagine you're in it. It's I think HTC is always, you know, taking it to the next level, and this is really interesting as well. And for DGC as well, and for of course all the VR developers, because we are pretty much into developers as well. This is a really exciting time to start creating crazy content, and why not start seeing also some local content, right? And we have seen some local companies doing experiences, and like Mr. Hussein also, you know, creating these spaces and going into that environment. We want to see more local content as well being created, maybe more culturalized content, etc. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And this was our last session with HTC, and we hope to meet again very soon for some crazy ideas and experiences.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Habib. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.